Hey guys, welcome to Hilton Head Island Detailer. My name is Bo and I'm going to show you the process we go through to prep a car for a 5-year ceramic coating. Our client just picked this car up. It's a 1988 Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL, only 55,000 miles on it, which is fantastic for a 35-year-old classic. But it needs a little love. It's got some paint swirls, got some marks here and there, and we're going to clean that up. We got 2 steps. We do an outside step since it's still nice out. We're going to give this thing a nice thorough rinse with a power washer, not too aggressive, just get the top layer of dirt off. Then we're going to come back and spray it with a foam bath. It's actually the most fun part of the process and very visual, I think you'll agree. We're going to rinse off that foam after a few minutes, and we're going to move into a 2-bucket microfiber hand wash. It's the first time we're actually going to touch the vehicle after we've gotten 2 layers of dirt off. So once we give it a good hand wash, we're going to give it a solid rinse. We're going to dry this thing off, and then we're going to move it into the garage where we proceed with a clay bar treatment and a 2-stage polish, prepping for that 5-year ceramic coating. So let's get rolling. I got a pressure washer over here. I'll chat while I'm working. And again, this step is just to get the dirt off that it came with. We got some bird poop. We got some dust. This thing's been living outside for a little while it gets ready for its new home. Client rented a garage for it, but it's not open yet. So let's get started. Thing's actually beading up pretty nice. He put some short-term sealant on it when he picked it up, but realized after he did that, there were a lot of paint swirls and the paint needed some attention. And this particular gentleman didn't have the equipment to really do a paint correction and prep it for a ceramic coating. That's where we come in. Again, we're going to get the loose dirt off on this pressure washing step. It's a shame this needs a paint correction. It's beaten up really nice. Nice thing about that is all the loose dirt's going to come off really easy. It's going to wash up really, really nice. So when we get to the polishing step pretty quickly, it's going to be gorgeous. This is the original paint from this vehicle back in 1988. How about that? A classic, right? At some point, of course, we're going to detail the interior as well. It's already pretty spiffy, and we'll share that with you too. It almost looks like it's never been sat in. All right, so we got a good rinse on it. Now we're going to throw a foam bath on it. We're going to be using this 3D pink car soap. It's pH balanced, nice and thick, concentrated soap. We're going to use this both for the foam bath and for the 2-bucket wash. And we're going to use a diluted version for our clay bar lubricant as well. And we'll get into that in a little bit. This is the most fun part of the process because it's nice and visual. Let me get this foam deal dialed in. There we go. All right. We're going to get this foam bath nice and even. We're going to let it sit for a few minutes, and what this is doing for us, it's carrying away all the loose dirt that didn't come off during the rinse. Even the soap's beaten up. Awesome. Now, because this gentleman already put some coating on this, you can see the soap's actually from the soap gun is actually being run off the vehicle. But that's okay, because the goal of this step is to get it cleaner. So when we get around to put a polisher on it, we're working with paint that's as clean as possible. So Now we're gonna go back and give this a good rinse before we get into a 2-bucket wash. Then we'll give it a dry. Then we'll take a break and roll it inside and catch up with you after we're done with that. Here we go, quick rinse. And you can do this with a hose, but since we already have the pressure washer out and all set up, it's just as well. Again, we're not getting real aggressive. It's a classic car, so I don't want to loosen up any parts, do any damage. Oh, this thing's built like a tank. It's 7,200 pounds of German luxury. All the while I'm doing this, I'm looking for rough spots that are going to require any special attention. We'll really notice that once we dry it off. If there's any excessive swirls, flat spots, thin paint. I did already put a meter on this car, but I'll do it again once we're done washing. And it measures anywhere from 90 to 150 microns of clear coat and paint. So we're pretty good there. The paint's in really, really good shape considering it's original. Kind of crazy, actually. All right, awesome. It's a nice rinse. And now we'll do a 2-bucket wash. I do a 2-bucket wash with 6 microfiber mitts. Once I use them on the vehicle, I drop them in the second bucket for rinsing. With this car, we're only going to need 1 round of suds. Always start at the top. And again, we've already power washed the dirt off, so it'll come nice and clean, nice and quick. Even the soap from the mitt is beating right off this thing. I gotta be gentle around that hood ornament. Flip the mitts over. We got a fresh side. Alrighty. Yep, exactly. There you go. And we'll get some fresh mitts with the driver's side. Windows. Typically work top down. This car is fantastic. This is what makes detailing fun for me or somebody doing it at home that enjoys cars and likes to make them look fantastic. So you can really appreciate the time and effort somebody put into this Mercedes to keep it looking awesome. The build quality is fantastic. Alrighty. Last set of clean mitts. So after this stage, we're going to give it a rinse. And we're going to dry it off. And then we'll really be able to take a close look at the paint. See where we might have some issues. Do some final measurements of the paint. Then we're going to roll it inside and meet y'all in there and do a clay bar treatment. Clay bar treatment's the last step of our decontamination process. Each step we're doing progressively leaves the paint in better condition, makes it cleaner. So clay bar, it's a sticky substance. I'll be sharing that with you. Gets a layer of stuff off the vehicle that you can't necessarily see, which gets it ready for polishing. Polishing, the same deal. It's a two-stage polishing process. We're going to start out with something a little more aggressive. They're going to come back and polish it, all with the goal of making this paint as smooth and as in good condition as possible, so that we put on the 5-year ceramic coating. It's worthy. All right, there we go. She's washed. Now I'm going to bring out my trusty, after I let it air dry for a few minutes, bring out my trusty chamois and get to work drying this thing. Once it's dry, we'll roll it back into the shop, and I'll get back with you and show you what our next steps are. Hope you found this helpful. See ya. All right, welcome back to the shop. We've got the Mercedes moved inside. Again, 1988 Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL, and we're going to put a 5-year ceramic coating on this car. Now, we've already prepped the entire car with the exception of the hood. We've saved the best for last, and we're going to go through the process of how we're going to prep it and actually apply a ceramic coating. So first thing we're going to do is we have to do the clay bar decontamination process, and we have some, in this case, we're going to use Dinowax Serum Prep. It's an iron remover. Once we got the car washed and in the shop, we found a bunch of water spots. Not surprising. I mean, the hood's the size of a continent. It's been in the rain. That's where it comes from. Environmental contamination. So anyway, we're going to spray this iron remover on it to loosen up those mineral deposits. Doesn't actually remove the water spot physically itself. But it gets rid of the minerals, so when we polish it, we're good to go and they won't come back. It's kind of the idea. So when you clay bar, and in this case we're actually clay mitting, a clay bar is literally a clay bar. You can see the surface area, it's very small. I prefer clay mitts. As you can see, they're much larger. It's a synthetic clay material. I don't find much difference between an actual clay bar and a clay mitt. And when you do clay, you need to have a lubricant, whether it's soap and water, which I frequently use, or in this case, we're just going to use the iron remover as a lubricant. So what the clay does is it picks up any fine particles that we missed in the washing process. So it's, again, we're just trying to make it better before we get to the polishing stage. So here we go. We're just going to do this quick deal. I prefer to go the direction the car travels, and I use a 45-degree hatch pattern. You'll see first I'm going to go this way, make sure you get everything, and then I'm going to go the other direction. Depending on the condition of the car, I might even go on a diagonal, but on this one I think we'll be good just this way. Now, I should have put rubber gloves on, and I meant to, because this iron removers are really, really stinky. They have a strong sulfur odor, so I'm going to stink like that when I'm done with this. But, you know, you take one for the team, and as long as it works, we're good to go. Other thing with iron removers, when it's working, it turns purple when it's removing those deposits. Now we're just kind of agitating this in here. Unfortunately, because it's a black car, we're not going to see it turn purple, so we won't get the special effects. But I can tell you that that's what happens. So now we've agitated and we've clayed with iron remover to get rid of mineral deposits. And now we can dry this thing off. Probably just going to let it sit for a minute. Let's see, one towel. Let's grab another one for fun. And all we're doing is drying off what we just did. Clay bar with iron remover. Again, preps our surface. Nice. The next step will be a heavy cut polishing compound. It's stage 1 of the polishing process. Again, just prepping the surface, getting it nice and clean and smooth as we possibly can. So when we put that ceramic, a 5-year ceramic coating on there, it's worthy, right? No sense putting a 5-year product on a car that's not prepped properly. Okay, I'm going to let that set up. I'm going to give you a little break. I'll be back in just a minute, and we'll go on with stage 1 of the polishing step. All right, we've completed the clay bar process and the iron ore decontamination. Time to move on to stage 1 of polishing. I'm going to use, in stage 1, this Malco Super Duty Heavy Cut Compound on our first pass. It'll get rid of most of the swirls, imperfections, so on and so forth. I'm using a microfiber pad on a Griot's D9 polisher. I'm not promoting these products. It's just the products I happen to use. There's a lot out there. And first we're going to do is prep this pad and attack this hood. I won't video the whole thing for you because who's got time for that, but you'll get the idea. So I always throw the cord over my shoulder, trying to keep the wire off the car, and we're going to start by spreading the polish around. I'm going to go a quarter of a hood at a time. All right, here we go. There we go, first pass. Running this polisher at about the speed of 5 with about 15 pounds of hand pressure on that first pass. It'll be the same pressure on the second. Get you the idea. So I'm just going to do this section. And once we get it on there, we want to polish it off. Just need a little elbow grease. And while I'm doing this, obviously I'm looking to see if we got rid of our watermarks, any other swirly defects. That's the idea. Sometimes there's difficult areas. You got to go back and hit it multiple times. This is actually cleaning up quite well. I'm just going to circular motion, back and forth motion, whatever pressure you need to get the compound off the car. Okay, we finished stage 2 of the polishing process. Just thought I might note the first pass of polish was with a heavy cut compound. The second was with a heavy duty compound. Neither of those compounds have any sort of polish in them. We don't need polish. We're going to ceramic coat. That's how we're sealing this car. So those two compounds have been used. We have a nice Mercedes black surface to work with. Now it's time. Obviously, your OCD can go wild on this stuff. Now we're going to give it an isopropyl alcohol wash. Real simple. I use a solution of distilled water and isopropyl alcohol, 5 parts distilled water, 1 part alcohol, or 30% alcohol. Either one of those will work. Sorry, I wasn't exact. And the reason we're using this, and again, we've done this on the whole car, this is the last step before ceramic coating. What this will do is any impurities in the polishes that we used, any waxes, any other contaminants that we created, the isopropyl alcohol will carry those away. And we use distilled water in our concoction because it doesn't water spot. It 100% evaporates, as does the alcohol. So we give that a good spray. Get a secondary towel here, and we give this a really good wipe down with the isopropyl alcohol. That'll dry quickly because it evaporates. I always use a second rag so I don't have to put my hand on the car. And I'll put a good polish on it, hand polish, with a polishing towel prior to the application of the ceramic coating. The thing with ceramic coating, you got to make sure your surface is 100% dry. Ceramic coating and water don't play nice. So we're going to make sure that this surface is 100% dry before we apply coating. I'll get a couple polishing towels. This one should work just fine. Again, this is just getting rid of all the moisture. That might be left on the surface. And as I said, it's distilled water, so it will dissipate and leave no marks, in theory. I use 70% isopropyl alcohol, and like I said, distilled water for this step. And we get a nice, super duper clean surface to work on. Okay, I'll be right back. We'll put some ceramic coating on this baby. Okay, let's ceramic coat this Mercedes. We've done our 2-stage compounding process. We've sprayed the car with isopropyl alcohol on the hood. The rest of it's been done. I'm just showing you the hood. So we have a super duper clean work surface to which to apply our ceramic coating. So here are the tools of the trade for ceramic coating. You can use a applicator. I like to use a microfiber sponge. Works quite well for us. Today we're going to be using Adam's Graphene ceramic coating. This is a 10H ceramic coating, 5-year product. And then we wipe with a smooth microfiber towel. So the ceramic coating wise, the time is in the preparation. As you can see, while this for you is only a half hour, for us it's like 8 to 10 hours for this whole process. So we're going to take some of this ceramic coating and put it on our microfiber sponge. A little goes a long way when it comes to ceramic coating. And I always put the lid back on because it will evaporate quickly. And I like to work with smaller areas. Same reason. I don't want it to get stuck on there and I can't get it off, and we're trying to make a very even, smooth surface. So again, we're going to go in a crosshatch pattern on this hood. Looking out for that nozzle. And First, I'm going to go one direction, being sure to cover all my areas. And then I like to go the direction of the car travels for the second step. Now this is going to set up pretty quickly, and it's going to fill all the pores in our paint surface with the ceramic coating. Whereas wax actually goes into the pores. That's why it doesn't last as long, a couple months, 3 months. Ceramic coating actually goes into the pores and sits up on top of the surface. And it's a very hard surface. That's what gives us the awesome protection. So it's on there. I can see I have a good coat. I start to see some rainbow marks, and I know we're good to go. Can't show it on camera. So you're going to have to trust me. But I'm going to go in here and strictly do a circular pattern to wipe that coating off that we just applied. Again, I don't want any low spots or high spots. I want to make sure that this is nice and smooth. First pass one side, flip the towel over, hit it again. You just want to make sure that while we're applying this, that it's nice and smooth, it's super duper clear. High spots show quite well, so you can tell when you have that. I got to tell you, this thing's looking fantastic. Now we're going to spare you us doing the whole car. Perhaps we'll come back and go to show you a shot of the final product. But that is how soup to nuts, start to finish, ceramic coating in a nutshell here at Hilton Head Island Detailer. I'm sure our client will be super duper happy. We hope this helped. Like our content, share our content, give us a shout. We'd like to be your detailer for life. Ceramic coating, that's where it's at, man.